Say hello, dear friends, and I am highly spiritual guru of Kyla School, and I propose to continue what we have begun. Sometimes I hear very good questions who find me on the internet. They write to me, Mr. Andrew, who taught you all these things? Can you tell us? Can you tell me, if you know who taught me this, will it change your attitude, your perception of me? If no, then why do you need? But if I invented all of this, am I a good inventor then? Yeah. Yes, maybe. You see, I invented and then I memorized everything, and I make money with this, and this is very effective. You imagine one guy came up with something and all others repeat and they feel good. So then a question here. Maybe others need to invent also something and their life will change. The thing is that such questions are asked by people who live with the following principle. Let's say, when Leonardo da Vinci was drawing, the specific aspect of their drawings were that he was unique. He did everything as he wanted to do. He never repeated after someone, and he was spontaneous, and he used his own methods and techniques. So maybe in the very beginning he was educated by some masters, but then he started doing everything by himself. But tell me, if he would repeat everything after someone, would he be able to become such a unique artist? If Vysotsky, this is a very famous singer, would repeat after someone, would he be able to be a unique person? You see, no one taught him, but our system functions in a way that everyone wants to see who is your teacher. So imagine that now spontaneously I came up with the internal engine, an engine that will work forever, and then a commission will come to me and they will make an assessment. They will conclude that this is an internal engine, but then they will tell me, if you want to become a PhD, then tell us where from did you take this information, and I will tell them I took it from nowhere. I didn't take it from anywhere. This information was entirely mine. And then they told me, no, this just cannot be like this, and you cannot have your PhD, because in order to have your PhD, you need to include sources for reference. So the system functions in a way that it kind of doesn't believe that a person is smart. A person is not smart as considered by this system, and he takes this person his knowledge from someone. But this is bullshit. Person may become completely different. Person may learn how to read information from the environment. So I will give this mantra to you. Since I have it here on my table, I will give you these curses for money, for beautiful life, for wisdom, clear ones, for becoming celebrity, for good fortune, etc. And also I want to give you these special codes that can make a person develop special powers very quickly, exceptional powers. And I really, really want you to try this method. When you just identify an exceptional power that wasn't yours before, and I think that with this code you will be able to reach this, and these codes are very easy to use. I thought today, shall I give you ritual protection to you or not? But you need to tell me. Do you want to have ritual protection or spiritual name will be enough? We want both. Oh, okay. So let us begin. What is a ritual protection and why it is needed for such protection? Allows a person not to feel mental thoughts of others and doesn't let this mental thoughts of others to penetrate him. How normally it happens? A person comes to you and he hates you, and you become angry. But if you have this protection, then person who hates you comes to you, but you don't feel anything. You are not angry with him, because people have innate capacity to feel, to read emotions and thoughts of others. So, just as an esoterician, I request from you not to pay attention thoughts and feelings from others of others. And I can assure you, why is it so? Because those feelings that a person generates does not allow to read information from this person. It is not good to be empathic. And remember, I told you previously that I will give you mantra which will help you to turn on your intuition. But now I think that intuition is something we don't need. Now I say that the divine essence is something that needs to guide you. Because then your intuition will improve by itself. But have you started using triggers just as I taught you in the first day? I'm happy to know that you started. So today, this is the 6th day of our work, and we already have changes in our perception. Do you have it? Have you tried using the practices that I gave to you? I mean, triggers. Is it pleasant? It influences in a very subtle way, but every new day becomes better and better. Who started using our secret mantra every night when you say, I'm entirely satisfied by this day? So when you go to bed and you say, I'm entirely satisfied, is it nice to wake up in the morning? Yes. Why is it so? Because when you are satisfied, everything, all information that you have for the night is erased entirely. If you are not satisfied, that not information is erased by divine energy. It is just like a hungry person who ate enough and he's asked, are you satisfied? Have you satisfied your hunger? Yes, I did. And then they clean the table after him. But if a person who is not satisfied, who is still a little bit hungry, says, I'm still a little bit hungry, so the food is not taken away. And then they keep this food for you for the next day. But in the next day, it is a little bit spoiled. It is not good anymore. It is rotten. And next day, again, you are not satisfied. And you get the food from the day before yesterday. So esotericians, they eat fresh food in this metaphor, while other people, regular people, they eat something rotten. So a person shall not keep his own ideas for many days. You don't have to think about something for a long time because you eat rotten food all the time. No, you need to eat something fresh. Have something new every day on your mind. So the method of erasing all your thoughts of the day is very simple. You just say before going to bed, I'm completely satisfied with this day, and you will have fresh food for tomorrow. Ritual protection takes away empathy. So sometimes people influence on you by their thoughts, and you feel bad. How can you understand this? For example, there is a man who really likes one woman. He really likes her. He thinks about her all the time. He dreams about her, and in this moment, this lady, this woman, she feels very, uh, very bad. She's angry and she has a lot of thoughts, but she will not realize that these thoughts are from him and they will not be about him. But if a lady starts thinking, oh, this Peter is a very good guy, we can get married, we can start living together. And what happens with a man? Um, in the man, uh, these thoughts provoke activity of his perineum chakra, so he starts feeling the strong desires, looking for women. He makes mistakes. So it was wrong thing to think about this man, because in one case, if you're a woman, these sorts of other men, they don't allow you to get focused. If you're a man, then you start having these chaotic desires for women. So it is important to have this ritual protection to stop influence like this. You need to touch your body with your hand, with the right hand. When you touch your heart, and by this you block uh, activity of your own ego. Then you touch your forehead with 4 fingers, and by this you explain to yourself that you block yourself from other thoughts. And then you touch your thumb with the top of the head so that the god doesn't pay attention to bad things. And then you make cross with your hands on the chest so that your actions mm, don't bother others. Then you touch your eyes so that your eyes are always truthful. Then you touch your left hand, that marks that you will never be poisoned. So when you touch your left hand in this way, you become protected from any poisons. So have I showed you how to remove curse or a fright from someone else? But did we wrote it down already? Did we write it down? Remember when you use some water and spray on the face? How to take away some diseases with the eyes? You keep your hand just like this, and then you use 3 fingers to touch the painful part of the eye, and then you spit over your left shoulder. Then you look in the mirror and look back, and this will protect a person from these diseases. So I've been thinking why sometimes I can do this with my daughter and sometimes I cannot. But then I remembered that in esoterics, there is one very important principle. You need to look into mirror. You don't need to look into mirror, and you don't need to look behind your shoulder. So how to take away curses that were put on you? You need to keep your hands like this, touch your eyes, and then spit in front and speak backwards over the shoulder. And then any curse that was put on you is taken away. You do like this: 1, 2, 3. Then you spit on the fingers. Then you spit over the shoulder. That's easy. Remember, I was telling you. You get out, and in front of your gate or in front of entrance to your apartment, there is something split on the floor. There is something. Uh, uh, close to your entrance, and you think, "Wow, what is it? What do I do about it?" Because this is a curse, and you think, "How do I take away?" And our children, they will be cursed. What do I do with this? What do you do in this moment? Of course, you need to push it away with your leg and say, "Huh, what is it?" And then ha 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 ha, and it will stop being effective. You see how easy? So easy. If you stepped into this sheet that was next to your door, it's okay. You just look at your leg and start laughing. So, ritual protection. Let us continue. So, you touch your heart with the right hand. Then you pronounce secret syllable Aim Hridayai Namah. Aim Hridayai Namah. Aim Hridayai Namah. I didn't want to give it to you, but alright. Aim Hridayai Namah. Then with the four fingers of the right hand you touch your forehead. Touching it you say Om Klim Shirasi Swaha. Aim Hridayai Namah. Om Klim Shirasi Swaha. Om Klim Shirasi Swaha. And then while you write, I'll tell you when ritual protection can benefit and when not. It turns out that not all people can do this or can use this type of protection. Let's say someone is used sincerely by someone else, and I will show you how to put this protection on over someone. I will explain how to do it. I was not telling it ever before, but now I will explain. Let's say I live with a woman, or there is a man who lives with a woman, or I live with men and a woman, and let's say men use me. One partner uses another partner. Okay, it is not important who uses whom, but probably someone uses someone. But in this family, there is someone who doesn't pay attention to this and just doesn't see it, and probably this one person is satisfied because he doesn't understand what's going on, but another person feels very comfortable in this condition. He understands the situation. But if a person sends ritual protection, a person which doesn't understand, and he puts ritual protection, that after this ritual protection he starts understanding that he is used, manipulated, and he says, "Oh wow, I was used so terribly." Or a person says, "Oh, before that I was thinking she is just so beautiful, but now I see she's not only beautiful, she is very stupid. But before that you didn't notice." So you start seeing clearly. And this happens often. How to identify? Shall you put a curse on a person? Let's say a lady comes to me and she says, "I want my husband to be back. Shall I put an attraction spell?" But if this was a person if this husband or man doesn't understand what's going on, and you put this protection, then he understands. He was charmed. But if you put protection for a couple of days, if he doesn't come to you, then he loves you. Can you imagine this? It so all of this is good, uh, but when you don't need to use it. For example, I love my wife a lot, and she loves me a lot as well, and I put ritual protection, and then I stop feeling her feelings. I stop feeling her emotions. So I think uh, a person who wants to use this protection uses it only when he thinks that he wants to be more independent, to live his life by his own beliefs. But sometimes it is a mistake to use this spell. Very often, young men and women start dating. But then I ask this girl, this woman, and I ask her, "But why did you decided to marry him? You don't love him?" But she no, I don't feel comfortable. I feel ashamed. We date for so long. We sleep with each other. But do you love him? No, not really, she says. But then you talk to him and you ask, "Do you love her?" And he says, "No, I don't really, but I promised." So they fool each other deliberately. And but who attracted them to each other? Maybe it was mothers of this couple. One mother is thinking that, oh, it's time for her to get married, and another mother is thinking, yeah, it's time for him to get married, and this is how children got married. But it wasn't right because they fulfilled mental thoughts of others. You see, but it was not their own life. But they got into this trap. Through the mental networks, they started to live as a family, and they live just like this by someone else's life. And she's looking for her prince to arrive, and he is looking at other ladies. Ah, don't you know? Let's say a man is always in the toilet. He's doing there something in the bathroom, and then you started looking. What is he doing this? And then you see that he's sitting on the water closet and making crosswords, and he looks at you very uh, afraid. And then you think that. And then you think that your wishes never come true, but you're dreaming about the Prince Charming on the white horse. But have you ever seen white horses around? But look, he's sitting on the white water closet. This is his horse. So if you're a princess, he is a prince. If you're a queen, then he is a king. But if he's an idiot, maybe you're also an idiot. So when a man lives together with his woman, he should never say, "Oh, she's so stupid," or "she's very dull," because if he says this, it means he dull as well. Because if he's a king, she is a queen, but if not, he is also not. So you see, these are all mental networks. So imagine I am a person who loves my family, and I feel really touched to feel all these aspects. I don't want to be close to get rid of them because I live in awareness, in present. So I was aware when I offered my wife to get married, make a proposal. So and we gave birth to our children also with awareness. But spiritual protection is needed only for those people who feel that they are completely lost. They cannot get out from this net, from this trap or swamp, from the dead end where they are. A lot of deaths, relationships are bad, kids don't behave. So in this moment, you need to have ritual protection, and this protection is set in the morning, in the lunchtime, and mm, in the evening. And then a person starts wanting to say truth. For example, a lady is offended by the way her her man lies to her. Then she accuses her. He feels guilty, and they all constantly live in a situation where she manipulates, and he cannot get from these manipulations. A person who is manipulated starts having his own charisma. He starts yelling, but then she gets offended again, and this is continuous manipulation. But if you put ritual protection over this man who is manipulated, he will start seeing clearly the situation, and he will immediately say, "Oh, but this is manipulation." And I had such a case in my life. There was a one lady working with me in a company, and I wanted to fire her, and I told her, "You're fired," but she started crying very strongly, and I look at her and I tell her, "But I'm not guilty." But she starts crying even more, and she says, "My kids are sick, and my husband needs an operation. He has problems with his eyes." And then I told her, "Don't manipulate. Don't manipulate me. I'm your employer. You can do this at home, but I don't want you to manipulate me." But then I cannot even tell you how she was crying, because there were so many tears, and they were dropping on her chest, on her breast, and everything. Her nose was running, but then she saw my face, my expression when it was written clearly, "Go away," and she understood that 100% she will not be able to continue. So, but I felt that something happened. Immediately her tears got dry, and then all her running nose stopped running, and she looked completely normal again. Her makeup was in place. But when I get out, when I went to grab some water, um, she looked so terrible. She was crying. But then I came back and I told her, "Yeah, you can go away, because you are fired. So don't start hysterical things here." And then she brought herself together immediately, and she just asked me, "All right, but then when I come for my salary before leaving the company." So I understood immediately that there are people who know how to manipulate, and they are professional in these manipulations. Mm. But this ritual protection is something that helps you to see if you are under manipulations. But this is probably not for us. It is for those who feel really, really bad in their life. I'm Hridaya Namah. Then you put 4 fingers on the head. Om Glim Shirasi Swaha. Then with your thumb you touch the top of your head. Om Sakhuh. Sakhuh. Om Sakhuh. Shikyaye Vasad. Om Sakhuh Shikyaye Vasad. Vasat with a T at the end. And then you keep your left hand over the right, or arm over the right. So if right arm is closer to your chest, you cross them and you say Om Sakhuh Sakhuh Kavachakya Hum. Om Sakhuh Kavachakya Hum. Kavachakya Hum. Kavachakya Hum. Then 2 fingers touch your eyes. 2 fingers of the right hand. You join in this type of mudra, and then you touch your eyes and you sound Om Bhuvah Mitra Troya Yai. Om Bahuvah Metra Troya Yai. Metra Troya Yai. Vausat. Om Bhuvah Metra Troya Yai Vausat. Did you note it down? And then keeping your hands just like this, you touch your left palm with the words Om Bhur, Om Bhur, Bhuvat Bhat. Bhur with B and Bhuvat with P. So how much time it takes you? That's it, a couple of seconds. But can you say it took a lot? No. But first you need to learn it by heart. But each of you already have this mantra in your mind. By the end of this course, you will get a direct transmission, which is called lung. And this energy will be already in you, and you just repeat 2 times and you will remember this by heart. Maybe now it seems that there are too many things, but it is not that many. How to keep this closed movements? That is called the mudra, or the form of joint index finger and the thumb. So look, if during when you speak to someone during dialogue, you do this, close your index finger and the thumb. If you do this with one hand or another hand, it says that people who didn't even notice this, so they will come to you once again. They will think that you are a leader and they will want to continue listening to you. Yeah, people say okay, keeping this fingers like this. And here is one specification. When you do this, don't do it like this, but keep other fingers together. Not like this, but like this. Look, like this. Don't keep other fingers apart, but keep them together. Okay, okay. So what this symbol says? It says it is a comma that falls from the sky, or it is kind of a drop that falls from the sky. It says that you accept, or you take assistance from the God. If you do this during a conference or a seminar, it will make you popular. You will become a famous person. Everyone knows it already. Every professional esoterician knows this. So, look at Michael Jackson. He does this movement always, and he's an esoterician, that's true. This symbol speaks that you have glory, or you gain glory. This is obtainment of glory. Fire. If you put your left hand with glory and the second hand with a letter V formed with your fingers, you put over the the other hand, and let's say a person is bleeding from the nose, then you need to put your fingers like this and blow through fingers. pointing this on the bleeding point, and then you imagine that then fire comes out. Esoterical fire comes out from this mudra, from this position of hands, and bleeding is water, and fire removes water. It evaporates. I stopped cervical bleeding for many times. So I did this, pointing into the place, and I asked everyone to look away in this moment. And then in 2 days, a person got recovered completely. You keep your left hand with OK symbol, and then you put 2 fingers over your circle formed with index and thumb finger, and you blow. But if you want to start bleeding, then you need to do vice versa. You need to kind of inhale through this hole. Very often people lack youth in their life. Is there a method to give youth by giving away part of your youth to someone? Yes, you form with your right hand OK symbol, and then you put 2 fingers over the circle, and then you blow into the face through this hole to a person, and this how you give a part of your life to this person. When you do this, when let's say there is someone who's dying because he's too old or she's too old, and you want this person to live a little bit more, and you can give a little bit of your life to this person. So if I want to give away, I put my right hand in this position of fingers with OK symbol, and then I blow. If I blow on a face of a person through this position of hands, then in 1 hour this person's face will rejuvenate very visibly. So in fact here it is important to know how to stop bleeding, but also you can give rejuvenation. Very often people get sick because their youth leaves them, and they become very old. But sometimes you can use this. We normally don't use it in esoterics, but here it is important not to mess with your hands, because it depends when you use right hand and when you use left hand. So ritual protection, we pronounce this mantra. And here we have immediately a question: is it necessary to touch yourself with a hand? It is not that necessary. You can say Kriday Namah, Klishaya Namah. I'm not doing this. I can put it just like this. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It is a complete ritual, but here it doesn't matter how you keep a hand exactly, like this or like this or like this. It doesn't matter. It is not that important. It's just like singing a song. Which is very famous. However I sing it, people will recognize it because it is very famous. So however I touch myself, the system works. So then, let's say I want to give a ritual protection for my child, for my relative, and I want to put a program together with this protection for my child. So what do I do here? I start drawing a triangle around a person, and I draw it in a way so that the upper angle is right above his head, and then next to his right leg, and then left leg, and then I join it. Look like this, and I recite the mantra. So this is with the mantra in my hand. I am Kridaya Namah Om Klim Shrai Travach, etc. And you draw triangle, and then I put a spot in front of his lungs like this, and then and then to his legs like this with the hand forward, and then I link this point to the upper angle like this. This is how I linked. So, and then you can, but it is important to draw a pyramid. First it was a triangle, then it was a interior part, and then anterior part, and then I link it to the upper angle. But this is not it. Then I need to put a program inside of this pyramid, a program that will make this person stop drinking alcohol or start vomiting when drinking alcohol. So my program, let's say, only you touch alcohol, you start vomiting, and I do this with my hand. And then I imagine that the pyramid is golden itself, but inside of it there is a white shiny. So this, like, just you touch alcohol, you start vomiting, and then I imagine that the pyramid is golden, and inside of it there is a distinct shining white light. And this is how is it different from a program alone? Because program alone is just one idea that manifested once, and when a person got this vibration from you, this thought from you, he doesn't have a desire to do this. Let's say your neighbor is yelling and you want to calm him down, and you imagine, you say, knock, knock, keep quiet, or knock, knock, silence. And then you imagine that he is inside of a bright white circle, and this person will shut up. He will stop yelling for the next 20 minutes. But in the case when person wants to drink, to get a drink, a person will act like this. Oh, I want to drink something. No, maybe not. No, I want. No, maybe not. So this is how it works. Mental energy penetrated him, and it created an intention. But then intention is stopped. So he consumed this white energy that you put on him, but you want this program to work constantly. So in order to make it, you need to draw a golden pyramid, and it will work constantly, not only once. What if I want to lose some weight? Someone is asking from the hall. No, you just need to draw a pyramid inside of yourself. This is the best way. Remember, I told you. There is such a friend of ours. She's from Vinnytsia town. Her name is Svetlana, and she came to me and she said, like, I really wanted to lose a lot of weight and very quickly. Let it be very quickly and really quickly. And I told her, all right, but how much you want to lose? I want to lose 30 kilos immediately. And then I told her, but where? What will you do with the skin loose? But then she told me, no, please, this is just a survival thing that I need. This is manipulation. But if you're paying, I will do this. So remember, I was showing how to do it with your navel. And then she comes to me in a month, and I could not recognize her. She's like a pit bull, and her cheeks are hanging down like pancakes from her face. And she was happy. She said, like, you see, I lost so much weight, but I don't know what to do this. And I told her, maybe you need to fix it somehow behind your head. Why am I sharing with all this? I just want to illustrate that esoterics is not a joke. It's not just some empty things. It's something that can really influence your life. You need to be aware. So this was my experience. Do we need to lose weight now? Of course, but if you know how to do it, and you know, already, because I was telling you how to build a program. The program is initiated in the following way: as if you meet someone and you do this, as if you imagine that you met someone and you do this. Wow, but wow, what's going on with me? Wow, you just imagine that you met someone and you say, I don't know what happened to me. Whatever I eat, I lose weight. Whatever, even if I breathe, I lose weight. What's going on? Ha 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 ha. So this is one of the most dangerous mental programs because it works, but you need to set it in a very, very, very cheerful mood, in the almost mental mood, and like acting as you're crazy. I don't know how those people who and you say, I don't know what these people do who cannot who are completely unsuccessful in their lives. Whatever I do, I always get what I want. Ha 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 ha. What's going on? So this is what you say. This is how you set a program. So you just don't need to think that this is a pure mechanism. No, it is not a mechanism. It is not a Mercedes. Everything depends on the amount of mental energy that you have. Because if you set a program for good fortune, and your mental energy is used, but you're not able to accumulate mental energy constantly. So when you spend it all the time, then the program will be less effective. So then the most unpleasant thing in the whole system which I give is that you always spend your mental energy, so you always need to find a resource for reaccumulation, and it should be something pleasurable, but for mental. So it is important what is inside. So even if you pretend to be cheerful, but you don't have mental energy, because internally, somewhere inside of you, very deep inside, you are not honest, and you cannot fool this mental energy. You cannot fool it. If you're really, really joyful, then you're able to accumulate it. How does it work? I do this. Ah ha 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 ha. I don't know how these girls become so fat, but me, whatever I eat, I lose this weight. Ha 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 ha. I eat 100 grams, I lose 100 grams, and then you meet with a girlfriend, with a friend of yours, you let's say girlfriend, and she will ask you, so how are you doing, Jane? How are you doing? And you need to tell her, I don't know. Whatever happens to me, I always lose my weight. Whatever. And you say, whatever I eat, I gain some weight. I, whatever I eat, I lose some weight. And then for sure you will lose some weight even if you eat a lot. And if the resource of your mental energy will be spent, or there will be no any energy, the program will be stopped automatically. So look how it can be illustrated with the example of a notebook. To record somewhere some movie on my laptop, I need 24 gigabytes of memory. Let's say this is series. So to do it, I need to store it in a chapters or in a folder somewhere, and then I want to put it in a folder, but my laptop tells me no, there is not enough of space. the same goes with my own energy. You have energy to be cheerful, to work with your old programs, but to start doing this new program, you need more energy, kind of more space. Until you have it, the program will not be effective or will not work at all. So it uses a lot of your mental energy. So let's say they give you a picture. They want them to be. Someone wants them to be together, and you start working with this request. So when I work with such a global program, it gets so much energy from me than such small programs that I lose weight when I eat. These programs will be stopped automatically because they are very small and they require more energy. So in these small programs, they have a very small duration in the very beginning. And I think that small programs, they need to be tied to something else, like to an event, to a birthday, to the new year, to the Christmas, so that it is linked to the some kind of starting of the new epoch. So the program that in this way will work for the whole year. It needs to have some range or duration. So speaking about ritual protection, it is more or less clear. Let us put a program to start vomiting from smoking. Maybe Sveta, do you want this program? No, I don't. People laughing. So every time when you smoke, what words do you say? You already know them. I smoked and I am satisfied. How good it was. So if you are satisfied, if you say this when you smoke every time, then automatically you will stop smoking. Not more than 1 month will tell you to quit smoking, and then you can smoke whatever and how as many as you want. As much as you want. But what if I don't smoke? Then start smoking. This is a joke. Just to check if it is effective if it is easy to quit afterwards. All right. So today let us try to record or to write down the words and even the letters. What letters will we have? Just to write down the letters and I will explain why. If you have your spiritual name, don't write it. U, Y, E, O, or U, E, O, A, U, O, I. So now we're going to do the following. I will start knocking like this. And I will start sounding letters, and you will start when you feel that you want. When I will start knocking, you will need to write down those letters which you hear, which you will hear. So there should be 4 letters all in all, or 3 letters, or even 2. But when I say stop, you will need to look at me, and you will need to look in front of yourself without looking at anything particularly. So now you need to imagine your maximum realization in your life. Let's say, what is it? You imagine yourself being a beautiful woman with a tennis playing tennis, so let's say with a beautiful husband from somewhere from Arabia. Alright, but this is just an example. So what do you imagine? You imagine your maximum realization. What maximum realization can be? Let's say you get an Oscar or a Golden Palm or some award, and maybe you will go crazy tomorrow and in some fantasies of madness you will get incredible ideas that will bring you some scientific awards. That's a joke. All right. So you just imagine that you are a happy woman who was completely realized. You just the best moment, you are very happy, you are dancing, let's say, and consider that you ask something from the God, and he tells you, let's say, like, what do you want in your life to happen, what would be the maximum outcome, and you say, I want to be very rich in my life, or I want to be very famous, or I want to be very healthy in my life. But then you can and you say that I want to have all of this, but maybe you already asked all of this, and you did this, and I start knocking or hitting the table like this, and I pronounce letters or sounds, and you need to write down 2, 3, or 4 letters which you hear, whatever what you hear. So I start. U O E O E U E O. So now you have these letters. All right, let us move to the second word of your spiritual name. But wait, these letters need to be there. Don't think about them. The mantra of our school is keep calm. So the second word, I will start knocking. A O U A O E O A E O A E. Do you have letters there? Yes. So now you look at the first word that you see, and between these letters you need to put any letters that come to your mind. One or two. Let's say you have U, E, and in between them you need to put Q or K. Just an example. Any other letters? So now, do you have the first word? You need to put the following thing. Let's say I'm a lady and I have U, U, E, and between them I put cuckoo S, and between the second letters I put Napoli. So my spiritual name is Kukusie Napoli. So na Kukusie I put letter K, and Napoli I put K. So my spiritual name, if I'm a woman, Kukusieka Napolika. Kukusieka Napolika. So now tell me, and don't be afraid, if someone will hear your spiritual name, don't be scared. It is not that important. Do you have something there? What is it? Break in two if it is too long. If you have only one word, you can break in 2 words. For men, it is not important. But if you are a man, just keep it like this. If you are a woman, you put a K A at the end of each word. K A. at the end of each word you add in the case if you're a woman. If you have one word which is right, then you can break it in two, and then by the end you input two letters KA. So let's say a word kukuseka can be breaking in two words, and then I have kukuka seka. Omaka oka. It can be omaka oka. It sounds beautiful. So letters that are not vowels, they are only inside, in between. And women, they put KA at the end of each word. Then you write it down on a scarf, and then you put it somewhere where no one will find, but in a safe place somewhere. And then you wake up and you say that today as I will live this day as Kukuseka, let's say, or you sound your spiritual name, and this spiritual name really works well, and try to use it in your life. If you would not make it, then you will not this time, then you will not have your spiritual name. So read it. Do you like what you have? If you do, it says that you like your life. If you don't, then your fate is not correct for you, and you move in a different direction from an objective that you told to the God just now. And the stress on this in this word will be just as you like. So consonants will be inside of the word. So, and if this objective, if you don't like how your name sounds, it speaks that the way you live at the moment will not bring you satisfaction, will not lead you to the fulfillment of your requests that you just said before. So, how do you use the spiritual name? You go to a border cross check or border check, and let's say you need to cross the border, you need to go through the checks, and I will pass this border not as Andrii Duiko, but as Ularkise. This is, let's say, my name. What does it mean? So, living as a person with a spiritual name, you turn on your spiritual filter automatically. Any event that will happen to you will benefit you. It will support you. It will help you. Uh, and it will assist you in any way, even in some strange and unexpected way. If a person is aware of his spiritual field, then he notices that life tells to him something or shows to him something very vividly. This is one of the example of manifestation. Remember, I was speaking about a family, and a family is something that reflects your situation in the life. Let's say you've had a meeting with someone or negotiations, and you want to invest, let's say, in something, and after that, in 2-3 hours, your life will give you a feedback. If it is a good decision or not. If you see that you have scandals with your relatives inside of your family, or someone is offended in the family by you, then never do this. Yesterday I got a phone call from a person, and he told me, look, I want to offer you this and that, and I told him, oh right, in the morning I will tell you. But then at night my child felt very bad, and in this night I understood that my child manifests the answer. I don't need to take an offer from this person. So child kind of takes care of the dad. So through the child my spiritual field communicates, but of course this is not a good thing for the field to speak through the child. But what is a different way would be? How would be it differently? So if a child, my child, would be smiling and happy, then I wouldn't have noticed that this was wrong thing to do. So you see, this is the only way for the energy field to say, yeah, a lot of people started suffering yesterday. You see, it means that I don't need to do this. All right, so shall we continue? So now please tell me, today we will speak a little bit about healing. So let me give you elements of healing, how you can heal yourself, and then we will speak. We will move to another section. It is magic of money, magic of relationships, trends in relationships with money, and boosting or developing exceptional powers and clairvoyancy. So according to our agenda, it's need we will have it today. So let us speak about the process of at least minimum healing of yourself, how to heal yourself. So simple magical ways to heal yourself. The first method is called using esoteric uh, homeopathy. I really like this method. Those of you who already know it probably also like it. So this is one of the best. What is it? Um, this is a method where homeopathy eliminates something that I'm suffering with by similar substance. So if I was poisoned with some poison like let's say poisoned with an arsenic poison, then I will need to have a small quantity of arsenic to be kind of vaccinated, or this is an antidote from the same substance. One substance can be pushed by similar substance or by the same substance. Let's say I have problems in my labrum, and I feel it is very distinctly, very clearly. So what shall I do? In my mind, I need kind of to sense these or to touch this point where I have pain. Let's say, oh, I feel bad. I feel so bad in labrum. I feel a lot of pain there, and then I imagine that I have pain not only inside of it, but I have pain out of my body, but in a spot out that is out of my body, but is close to my body, somewhere in the space. And then I imagine with exhalation, the pain from outside enters into the painful point inside. If I will do this a couple of times, the pain will be eliminated. So now we speak about pain. Can it be helpful to a person who feels not physical suffering? Yes, a person let's start feels some strange feelings, some or sensations in the stomach area. He does the same. He imagines that this pain or anxiety is outside of his body, but. And then you push with your hands this external pain inside to the place where you have real pain, and this is a very effective and very Very interesting method. So we always need to remember about it, but we often forget. But what if I have a lot of thoughts in my head? What do I do about this? We do not criticize people, we just answer to a question. If we have a question here, so if you have a lot of thoughts in your mind, you need to do the following. You need to say kanili. If thoughts are very aggressive and you're arguing inside your head, you need to fuck off these thoughts. So yes, I had a client like this. She came to me and she told me, like, there is someone in my head shouting and swearing. I cannot control this. And I told her, find this state, find this voice that swears in your head, and tell to fuck off. Shall I just say fuck off these words? Yes. So this huge quantity of thoughts that you have in your head, it says that some part of these thoughts are not your own. So they are taken as empathy from other people. Probably someone wants you, or someone has a special attitudes towards you, or you accumulated thoughts of others. But we think that these mm, are our thoughts. So we think that this is our thoughts, but they are not. So you need to collect them together and you need to tell fuck off. The best thing is to do it before falling asleep. So the second method, you warm up organs. So you imagine that just inside of our chest there is an element of heat, the heart. So this is the place for the fourth chakra that generates heat and it heals all our organs. So you just imagine that inside of your chest there is a small kettle that is heated. So with exhalation, with the sound ho, you send energy from your chest and you feel your limbs uh, one by one with this heat. Right leg, left leg, right arm, left arm, then your head. And this is a very, very good method of healing yourself. And as a side effect, you will see rejuvenation. With exhalation, you pronounce ho or fu. And then I imagine that heat from my chest slowly gets down to my left leg, to the right leg, and I don't see this. I don't see, but I need to have this sensation. So sensation is more important than actually seeing this or visualizing. In the moment, you don't see it, but you sense it. This is a very good technique. It is called heating or warming organs with the help of your heart, or healing with the heart. You already have Savitu energy and you can imagine it. You can get into this energy by the sound or syllable nak. If you feel any pain in some organ, you put your hand and you imagine that under this hand there is very bright solar uh, light, and you can put this hand on your organ, or you can put this on a child who feels sick, and this is Savitur energy. Don't be afraid of it, it will not burn, it will heal. But if you have a toothache, what do? You go to dentist, someone says. Yes, but what if there is no dentist, if you somewhere where no doctors, and you need to do something about it? So what do you do? What do you do? In this case, you can use esoteric smile. This is another technique. You just imagine that you have internal smile, which is this is emoji that is very happy, smiling. You imagine it inside of yourself, a happy emoji, and it will help you if you smile to yourself. Let's say I have a tooth pain, and there is a hole in my tooth, and I kiss this hole mentally, just in my mind. This hole in my tooth, and I imagine that after this kiss there is this positive emoji, and if I do this 4 to 5 times, then this pain will go away. This is esoteric smile. So when a person starts sending this positive emoji together with his kisses to those painful organs or places in his body, then his body gets healed. So I want to repeat another grounds, another basics that I already told. This is the method of the blue water. Maybe you already saw a Buddha of the blue color. Non-Buddha will be able to tell you why the blue Buddha is green and why green Tara is green. So green Tara, is it a green Tara, is it a woman or is it a Buddha with wisdom, with Shen energy? So a person who imagine green color, he will become very, very, very smart, but not kind. But green Tara, she has to make a person to be a kind person, but it will not make you kind. The same with the blue Buddha of medicine. It is just an image of the concept that visually you need to add an image of blue dark water um, that fills you from within. So let's say I have a lot of pain in my heart, and I imagine that this pain is symbolized with the white light, and then I think that this white light is filled with dark blue water, so that this pain is watered by this. The darker the water, the better it is. So, who have ever used the method of the dark water? Is it effective? Yes, it is, people say. All right, using a method that is called clay. My favorite method, really, my favorite one, clay. In Ukraine, we have such a word. Um, so this is a joke, which is really untranslatable. Yes, if you in Ukraine, someone asks you, so could you do this? Was you successful? And you say no. Clay. Clay means no. This is a dead end in Ukrainian context. So what is this method is about? Let's say someone turned to me with, let's say I have pain in my heart, and my heart has pain because organ is part of this organ um, is not working well because there is some kind of disease, or tissues don't work well, and there is fibrosis, and some tissues, they are not nourished well. So if I want to regulate myself, what instruments do I use, what tools? So I'm a person who is engaged in medicine for many years, most of my life, and looking for this self-regulation tools, which I found they were more like fantasies. They had nothing to do in common with what is called internal self-regulation. One of the unique elements of internal self-regulation is visualizing white clay or red clay. Let's say I have problems with my pelvic joint. I have problems with it a lot, and I imagine that I see the upper part of my pelvic joint, and I imagine that I take white clay on the joint and I spread it with my hand or with special tool. So this is how I cement my joint with white or red color clay. So, when do you use different colors? If this is brain and bones, you use white clay. If these are organs, you can use red clay. Let's say I have pain in my heart, I put hand on it, and I imagine that I put red clay on it, and I spread it with a special, with kind of special tool, with a pad. Or with a blade, I spread this clay. So this method is fantastic. It works a lot. So imagine there is a person who is almost waiting for a surgery, but this method really improves something that is waiting for the surgery. And I had people who were not walking but using white clay. I made them working. Also, there were people with strong sclerosis, and I put white clay many times. I put a lot of layers, and for the second day, person started looking much better than seeing much better. The other day, a person came to me without a stick, but on the third day she comes to me and says, I feel bad. And I ask why. Because someone from my students who learned something came to her and said that let me heal you as well. And I asked, but why are you doing this? I got uh, I got money for this, but she tells I'm doing this because this is how I can heal people. I can blow and people get healed. But I tell, all right, do this, but not in our school otherwise. So I could not work anymore with this lady because the older program is in the place of cementing, and there is a new program above it that was inserted. So imagine I wanted to have a tank. I really like tanks. It is very cool. But my friend my neighbor decided to plant a tree in my tank. So I have a very good tank parked next to my house, but it has a tree right inside, and I cannot use it anymore because there is a hole and there is a tree. So what shall I do? So there will be not tank functioning well, not the tree functioning well. So after this, you cannot even clean up this program because when you start taking away a tree, you will not be able to get out the trunk of a tree from the tank. So when I wanted to continue working with her head, I saw this kind of tree growing from my tank, and you cannot take it away because it will take away the brain out from the skull, literally. And I asked, but why did you do this? Why did you started doing this at all with this patient? And this lady who didn't told me, oh, you don't understand. I am highly spiritual. I know how to treat. So there is a very good seminar that is called Healing. This is the third part where I tell in details about all these methods. But now I am limited by the concept of the first stage of our school. So now using working with eyes. If a person has very strong pain, and this pain gives you a feeling. If you put hands there, a feeling of heat, then this heat can be taken away by frozening this area which is painful, and cutting off this this frozen parts with ice. Let's say I touch a stomach of someone, and let's say this is period, and the woman has period now, and it's very painful, and I touch her stomach, and I feel it is very, very hot. So I send ice, I say send frost on this area, and then I use a stick, and I kind of hit, I cut away this ice just in my mind, and person doesn't feel pain anymore. If there is problem with the throat, the sore throat, then you can also use ice method. But you just need to identify which pain it is. A pain that is frozen needs to be needs to be a disease that provokes heat. It is a hot disease that provokes temperature increase. If you have problems in your throat and your stomach, and if you have problems in your leg, and your temperature goes higher, then you can freeze it. So when you freeze it, it doesn't mean that you put a person into fridge. No, you just do it like in your mind. And if you knock, or if you hit with a stick to cut away some ice, it means that you don't do it really like hitting a person, but you just imagine. Alright, let's continue. Rope magic. Rope magic is a very unique magic that is quite ancient, and it has Mongolian and Iran origin rather than Tibetan. No one knows the real origin. So the first mentioning of this rope or thread magic can be found in Toro book as well. So there is a special magic that helps a person to get rid of the whole range of problems. So one of these problems is using can be one of this method is using green thread. If you have problems with your spine, then you can use green thread. You put it around your waist, and you make 38 knots behind. What is the color of the green thread? It is green. And what is the material? Any type material, and any material can be cotton or can be wool. Yes, any green color, any metal. But what if it is metal? If you think metal is a material, of course you can use it, but it needs to be green. Can you have a knot of 39 knots? It is not that important. I know people who make 35 knots, but in the story it is there was a transmission. So a person who told it to me, he told me that transmission is very important here. So to make it real, to make it work, you need to have 38 knots. Can you get rid from cystitis? Yes. You can take a thread made of goat wool, and put it around your waist, and have just a couple of knots, not necessarily 38. All right. So continuing with the threads, if you put green threads around your wrists, you heal your kidneys. If you put red threads around your wrist, you will have problems with your heart and you will have no money. So to those people who wear red threads, I always ask them, do you have everything all right with your heart? You can put a red thread on the right hand if you want to improve your blood pressure. So golden color. Have you ever seen uh, how golden threads are made? So they have special molds, kind of molds, to do it. So what do you need to do? You just need to imagine one time as if behind your spinal cord, as if your spinal cord is this type of mold, and in this form, in this mold, you imagine that hot gold is put just from the back of your neck. You put gold, kind of golden substance, fluid, into your spinal cord that fills it completely till the tailbone, and then immediately you will get rid from uh, pain in lower back or anywhere in the spine in the back. You can do it to another person, but you need to hold this person from behind. But can you use threads to cure, to treat cysts? Yes, you need to have a thread and to tell, saying in front of the person, let all cysts make a thread. Let all cysts make a node. Let all cysts make a node, and then you burn down this um, thread, but don't hold it with your fingers. You can hold it with something else, not to burn your fingers. You let all cysts or all problems will be tied in knots, tied in knots, and then you burn it down, and the knots will be burned, and your problems or cysts will be burned as well. Or maybe not cysts or tumors. It was about tumors, yes. Additional practices that I would like to introduce. They are called with different terms, but the first occult practice is called Kundalini energy rising. So, why do we do this? If a person rises his Kundalini energy, then he will have energetic explosion. He has a lot of ideas immediately, good mood. When Kundalini rises, a person becomes highly spiritual, realized person. Remember, I was saying the higher the spirituality is, the higher the income. So Kundalini rising can bring a person to good wealthiness. So how to rise Kundalini energy? The, met- the method for Kundalini energy looks the following way. You just need to imagine that around your body there is a lot of popcorn. And right after that, you need to imagine that this corn blows up. Just imagine this. Then, if you have an advanced level, Scooby-Doo. If this now you have a level of Scooby-Doo and you will have a level of Scooby-Doo. So if you have Scooby-Doo level, you see I'm crazy. So then instead of popcorn, you need to imagine blossoming white roses. It means that you are advanced. So different people have different feeling. You just imagine a popcorn that opens up, or white roses. White roses that a person imagines around himself is something that helps his kundalini go upwards. Is it easier than doing some other practices? As if you were sinking in roses, as if you are drowning. Yeah, men need to have popcorn around them and women roses. This is a joke. Let's say there is a person and you need to give money back to him. He hates you. What do you need to do to make him forget that you was wrong, that you did something nasty to you? There is another method. You wrap this person into soft cotton and live just like this. Works really well. Did I give you these practices before? Are they effective? Yes, they are. So people forget. They really forget. Very often, there are such people who don't have uh, don't have heat in their heart. If you take all people in our school at the moment who are on the first stage, and if you question all of them, then you will understand that around 30% of them just cannot feel that there is heat inside of their chest. So there is such a method that uh, uses a crystal ball which helps to uh, feel this heat inside of your chest. So let us write it down. If a person imagines a crystal ball just inside of his head, and if he imagines an eye in the crystal ball, then this is how his heart will start shining with fire energy. If a person will imagine a crystal ball in his head and there will be an eye in the crystal ball, then this practice will make his fourth chakra shine with a fire uh, heat, with the fire flames or fire light, and heat will be generated, and this person will become a true healer. The glass can be of any kind of form or color. The eye. So if a person imagines a crystal ball with an eye inside, just above his head, it will make him to be a true entrepreneur. I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Whatever I do, I can do nothing. This was the wrong beginning, the wrong start. You just sit down, imagine a crystal ball. Where is it? Ah, yeah, I have it near my flowers there. So you imagine a crystal ball just above your head, and you imagine an eye inside. And then you will become an active entrepreneur, and any endeavor will be successful. So, what do I do? But of course, I have everything fine. So, but what if I need, let's say, what if I need to become more entrepreneurial? So I imagine a crystal ball about my hand, and I imagine an eye winging to me, because a person cannot keep a mono picture in his head for too long. So it will work only for 1 second. But if you will see some movement inside, like winging or some other details, then you can continue with this imagination for a long time, and the ball moves mm, from right to left. the more complicated the image, the easier it is for us to imagine, because our consciousness cannot keep present or focus on a static image, because it takes a lot of energy and our mind gets bored very quickly. So I imagine I have an eye above my head and a crystal ball. I count to 10, and then I can breathe to be more concentrated on this. So it was 7 times that I did it, and this is the practice that was done. And now even I want to get distracted from this high crystal ball, but it is still there and it distracts me. So now the mental program is already set, and the whole day I will run around with this energy above my head. But at the moment when I put a crystal ball above my head with the eye image in it, I open up my fifth chakra by this. You see, everything is so mixed. A person thinks that you need to imagine something in your fifth chakra, but no, it is not true. If you start imagining it in your fifth chakra, then you can worsen or improve blood circulation in your hands. So when Mr. Dovlatov was saying that you need to open up blue energy in your throat that will shine with light, and but if the color is blue, then your hands will become very cold, and if with a red color they become very hot. So isn't it wonderful? This was sarcastic. So but if I put my crystal ball here, if I half bend my arm, but if I stretch it higher, and I imagine a crystal ball up there with an eye in it, and it will make me clairvoyant in the future. If I imagine above my head a crystal ball with an eye in it, and I can imagine this, then I will become a good speaker, and I will have very good memory, and I will have a gift to speak for a long time about nothing. To memorize something, you need to have high motivation. People tell me very often, Mr. Andrew, I want to study English, I want to learn it, and I ask why. And someone tells me, but maybe I will travel somewhere, and I will need to to say something in the airport. But this is not inspiration, this is not motivation. But another objective, I want to get married with a foreigner, or I want to live somewhere abroad, I need English. If this task that you have, this is something motivational, but studying languages without a task, without an objective, is impossible. If you have an objective, it helps you. If you don't, then how you need to study English? You write down, let's say, a word, color, and then Sonia. What is color? Color, is it a color around your neck, or is it what? Is it a color like red or blue? All right, so color. Color means color. Um, and then I sound different phrases. Let's say, like something like A B C D E, and then the bus is coming, and then I come look back, and I say, color is color, color is color, and then I do the same with the second word. Let's say color, couleur, color, couleur. Like if we say with French, because here we speak Russian and English, and then you just imagine that the gap is filled with this word. But I think this is funny, but it works really well. Just try it. In the very beginning, it looks very strange, but then it is easy, because you um, use synoptical links and you build on them new knowledge. This is new linkage between uh, your synaptic connections. So this is how our operational memory takes this new words very easily. For 1 or 2 days it doesn't work well, but then it becomes embedded. So if a person wants to have a lot of money and wants improved financial well-being, then he or she needs to imagine that his energy cocoon is marked with checks or with stripes of white and red colors. So it is, imagine this is a chessboard of red and white checks, rectangulars, and if I imagine this, I will become rich. If a person sends knock for a couple of times, then his energy cocoon is colored in rainbow colors immediately. If you sound knock, 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 and if you start doing this and you picture your aura by Carolian's method, let's say, then you will see that your energy body or your field and your physical body has a rainbow color, and rainbow color is according to Buddhism, is obtained only by someone who is already realized. So we can say that in the word nak, that is clothed for everyone else, is a key element to become a highly spiritual being. And only for this you could take money, only for this method on the first stage. So we still have some time. What methods exist there, or how to make a magnetic banknote? Let me tell you. Can you create a magnetic banknote that will attract not only money but someone who likes you or partners? Something that can attract people or bring a car to you. Can you make a banknote like this? Yes, you can name. You need to name everything with its names. It is making magical, special artifacts. So why artifacts are important? Because we can give a $2 banknote to someone, and this person will become very successful. And he will tell to you, just when you gave me this banknote, $2 banknote, I became so successful and fortunate. But how do you do it? You do it with the help of mental ideas. So look, a stick is one. A second stick is another one. If one stick came to another stick, they formed plus sign together. So $1 is one stick. $2 is second stick. When two sticks joined, they formed plus symbol. So one joined another one, and this is esoteric symbol where two sticks form plus together. They add something. So what do they add? When you take $2 banknote, already you take a plus symbol into your hands. And if it is a plus, then you need to attract something else. What this plus will attract? Now you need to add. This is something that you want to attract. Look, I have $2 banknote here. What do? I blow, then I do this with my hand, and then I imagine that it is energetically pure. I imagine that this banknote is transparent in my hand, so it is completely pure. And then I imagine that it shines. It is transparent and then shines. This is just what I imagine, as if it is neon. It shines with very bright color, with solar color, with neon color, with something light. So I did this with my hands, and then I imagine it shines. So I imagine standing just in the middle of my city, or in a place where I am separated from the external space or environment of the city. So here I am separated from the city with these walls, but I take this banknote and I imagine that I have no barriers, no walls that separate me from the city, from its environment. So I imagine that from a place where I stand, where no barriers around me, I say, let it be more money in my life. And I imagine that a lot of people come to me, they buy my products and goods, they do something to me, they give me their money, and they put plus sign just once. I imagine that a lot of people, they pay money to me, and I imagine it is plus, it is added to my $2 banknote, where I imagine that I have a lot of real estate and assets around the globe, everywhere. So I put plus sign. It means I add real estate. Then I imagine that it is success and glory. People meet me standing. They like me. They really want to see me, and I put plus sign. But in $1 banknote, I can put pluses only from three sides of a banknote. Why only three? Because you can. There are many sides of a banknote, but you can put only six programs, not eight, because two programs are those programs that take away negative aspects. So imagine I put gasoline into a tank, but I can put it there only when it is empty. So an energy that I attract will fill this banknote, and the water, the flow will stop. So I need to have an empty side for kind of pumping out this energy from a banknote to have a constant flow. It comes in and it comes out. It comes in through three sides and it comes out from one side. So this banknote of events creates a funnel, and this funnel uh, absorbs, but it also needs um, to flow out. So an excess needs to go out somehow. So when you when you empower a banknote, when you put crosses or pluses from three sides, you keep one side empty. So let's say I have a lot of money here, I have a lot of income, a lot of glory, a lot of respect. So I put it everywhere in three sides. So six programs, twice in each side. So plus here, I imagine something and put plus here. Then I turn it upside down, or I turn it that it faces with a different side, and then I set 3 more programs and I leave one side empty. And then you put it in your wallet. You hide it away. But what if I want to bring more money into my life? Yeah, you can put here more money. Some people say, some people come to me and they want me to take this money. They bring back money that they own to me, etc. So you can use only 6 spots around this banknote, and this banknote is empowered then. In this way, we have conducted ritual that empowers this banknote to become an attractor of wealthiness. So you can use this ritual process in a different way. Let's say I sit here, I have no clients, and then one client came. And then when a client leaves me, I imagine that this client, where he was standing before that, when he came to me, and on the place where he was standing, I draw a plus. You can do it either with your hand or just in your mind, but at least one person needs to buy something. If no one buys from you, then close this place. Why do you need it at all? But if someone wanted to get a service, if this is a service, not a good, it's okay. You can put a plus sign in any case. So it is done for action, to attract actions. Let's say a man, he came to see you only once, but then he doesn't want to meet you again. So after that, when you kissed and he came back home, you can put a plus sign. Why is it so? Because this is not so good for him. Not so good of him to come only once. And now women will start. Yeah, how many pluses will I put? He left, now I need to put so 108, 109 pluses. So a magic of Kyla school, how to park your car. In order to park your car, you need to highlight a place that you want to park. So you drive and you imagine there is a parking place that shines with white color. So you enter a parking lot and you imagine, oh right, there are a couple of shining spots in the parking lot, and one of them is mine. And when you enter a parking lot and you see shining color, you just park. How not to be stopped by patrol police? It is a big problem in Ukraine. How not to be stopped by patrolling police? When you see a police officer somewhere nearby, you need to imagine that on your car uh, there is a special sign. So you imagine when he stops you, you show fuck sign. Kind of in your mind to him, you don't do it in reality. When he looks at you, he sees a fuck sign on your face, and if there is someone strict on the border control, then you come to him and imagine that instead of face, you have fuck sign, and this so you better do this. How to reach very quickly a place of your destination. You know this method. From your departure point to your destination point, you have a line that looks like white road for you. It is a very good method that really works. White road works super well, I recommend. So to have a good path, to have a good trip, and I imagine from, let's say you have a flight somewhere, we had a flight to Magavish, and I imagine from our apartment in Kiev a white road that goes directly to this Magavish. So it can be very long, because the distance is very long, but you can shorten this distance. I want to have, let's say, short road, but it cannot be super short, otherwise the plane will um, fall down. You just need to make it a little bit shorter to make it easy for yourself. Yeah, you can imagine. You can also imagine this for your child. Yeah, you cannot. Let me repeat again. Don't do this. If way is very long, you can shorten it just by this much, very small. Um, you just shorten it just a little bit. Otherwise, it is not safe. How to pass everywhere very quickly? You need to use a method that is called um, kind of hedgehog, and or porcupine. So I saw this creature in one movie, and I really used this. I need to pass the border control, let's say, and I imagine that I have a stick with a thread and a small bolt tied to the end of the thread, and I throw this bolt mm, from the place where I stand to the place where I want to get, let's say, to cross the border control. Um, it works well. If you put a white road, it will not let you pass the queues very quickly. But what if two programs are the same and you set similar programs? They will not work. So you use just one of them. Imagine, I want to imagine white road. I imagine it from my house to Magavish, and then from the in the airport, from the place where I am to the window where we need to get. So in both cases, my visual image is a white road. So one program will be destroyed by another program. So I don't trust this program anymore. And when you don't trust, then your belief is ruined, and this program doesn't function anymore. Yeah, but what do we do with the pluses? Pluses is a repetition of the same program. Mr. Andrew, no, I told you that pluses you can put only when a person comes to you, because when a person comes to you, then this person belongs to the plus. So something like this. So a person that is linked to someone, not to the time, it wouldn't, it works. But if it is the same program and you layer similar programs, they wouldn't work. So if I tied my program to someone, to a living being, then I can repeat it with different living beings, but I cannot do it just in time, a couple of programs that are not linked to anyone alive. So how to... Yeah, so you can throw either a bolt or imagine a road which is wide. So how to get very quickly to a place? You can become invisible. How to become invisible? Let's say you work in a place where you need to work with clients every day, and you don't give enough of salary for working with them. You don't give additional salary, but you are paid for being just in your workplace, and then you need to become invisible. To do so, you need to imagine that where you are, or in the place of the door of your office, there is a waterfall. Let's say you are an official working in the somewhere in the office, and you are bothered with all these people who come to you, and you can imagine that nearby your door there is a waterfall, and people will stop entering to your office, and you don't need to get rid of this program. It will be stopped overnight. You don't need to use a waterfall or um, to hide from police officers, because this makes you invisible, and there can be uh, other cars can crash into you. So if a person uses esoterical or practices in order to spoil the life of someone, then it is even worse than killing a person with your hands in reality. Because when you use esoteric practices, you use divine energy to do something bad. But when you kill a person, you use only your own energy. So when using esoterics, um, you killed a person. Let's say imagining that his car is in a waterfall, became invisible, then it is a very, very strong sin, because you take this responsibility and do whatever, but nothing will help you anymore. You will suffer a lot, your children will suffer a lot, etc. So you will suffer, that's true. So, how can you do, how can you make other people adore you? To do this with an index finger, you need to draw a six-pointed star. You know this already, right? How to get a lot of men around you, how to be attractive for them. To do this, you need to sit down and to stretch your left leg and make circles with the left leg against uh, c- um, uh, counterclockwise. So, and remember the feeling that you have, and stop rotation, but imagine that rotation continues with your left leg. If you will imagine this in the morning every day, then you will have huge amount of grooms next to you. The left leg, counterclockwise. You will have a lot of admirers. And for the man, if you're a man, you need to rotate with the right leg counterclockwise, and then a woman will see that you are very strong, or women will see you are very strong, smart, sincere, and you s- so you come to her and you say, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And women will admire you, they will adore you. But he was just making circles with his right leg, making a funnel of sexual attraction, that you kind of attract this energy. And remember, memorize this feeling while women use their left leg. If a woman uses water, imagining that they enter into the sea or into a lake, or putting your hands on the surface of the water, and if a woman turns around uh, counterclockwise, then she will have a lot of admirers. And this practice works if you keep silent in this moment. Remember, in human, there are women who are very, very ugly. And no one could trust them, but they all got married very, very quickly and very successfully. One married some ex-football player, another married some very, very, very rich Georgian, and this was something interesting. Yes, I knew this practice is effective, but I didn't know it's so effective. So you go into the sea and you turn yourself turn around counterclockwise, put your hands on the surface of the water, and you don't need to imagine anything, just keep silent. So you can attract a lot of money into your life with the method of water and sweet life. So you imagine that you swimming in honey, that everything around you is honey. If you do this couple of times, then your life will be just like in honey. But someone is asking, but what about my bath or shower? Can I do it there? No, no, no. You need to get into the water to swim. When you will be in the sea, just imagine that you are swimming in honey. You just need to swim. So imagine this is paradox of esoterics. So if the field doesn't bring any yield, what do? If there is no yield, you need um, to throw sugar in it. You need to throw sugar in it. Just throw in like this, walking around the field, and this is an esoteric practice. In this way, you give mm, uh, you give something to the earth. You kind of bring something to it. This is offering. So how to uh, to sell a car or an apartment quickly? Sometimes it is also important. So let us start with fishing, and then we will move to an apartment. So in order to start selling something, you need to know that there is such a method that allows. But no, let us start with fishing. So imagine I'm fishing, I want to catch fish, and I want to be fortunate. How can I be fortunate if I'm a newbie? Why is it so? Newbies, they are always fortunate. Have you heard this? Newbies, they are always fortunate. But what do you need to do? Normally, I do it in the following way. I leave my fishing sticks and then I throw them. I throw the thread into the water, and then I leave, go away, and then I pretend to go away, and then I come back, and I kind of fall over this. Fishing stick because I want to pretend that I'm a newbie and I kind of found this fishing stick, and then I start fishing. They go, wow, what a fishing stick! Once I came to a lake to start fishing, and I had a very small hook and very small fish. And I started fishing, and there was a man passing nearby. He said, "Oh no, no, this is a bad place you picked. You need to go there." And I told him, "No, no, let me try." But then he came to me and he says, "Yeah, I also put a stick here, but in 2 years I didn't have even one fish there." But then I went away, and I fell over this. Fishing stick, and then I started seeing fishes one by one, and I caught all of them. So you need to sell your house. What do? You leave keys in front of the gates of your house or in front of apartment door, and then you walk and you say, "Oh, what a beautiful apartment! Or what a beautiful house! I need to come in." And then you enter and you say, "Wow, keys just here. It will be mine." And then you enter and you put as many elements of surprising. This is esoteric uh, element. This is kind of mental network, and you say, "Oh wow, I don't like this bath. I don't like this floor. I don't like the mess which I have here. I don't like this kitchen. I don't like how bad it is. Oh, why did I put these people here? Why did I rent this apartment to them? They spoiled everything. They cheated everywhere. I'm sorry for saying this." So, but you cannot rewind it and erase. Okay, so normally people, this is what they do when they try to send or give for rent their apartment. But you do something opposite. You set mental uh, energy, mental net. So a person enters to a bath that you don't like. Normally you say, "Oh, this bath is so terrible. I need to do to improve it, to fix it." So a person is thinking that he needs to buy a house or an apartment, and you have a mental program in this bath, and everywhere in your apartment this person will come and see all these negative aspects that you highlighted for yourself. But why he will buy this apartment? Why? You need to do completely opposite thing. You come to your apartment and you pretend to find your keys. People always say that something that neighbors have or Johnsons have is always better. So always say that his wife is better than mine. So why is it so? Because a person is surprised in the case if he has something new. So you leave keys next to your house, then you come enter into it as if it is not yours, and you say, "Wow, found keys, let me enter to see what it is." And then you need to go around this house and put as many conscious programs of astonishment as you can. Just, "Oh wow, how beautiful! What the door? How cool it looks! It opens just like this into one side, into second side, and I have so it is so spacious. It breathes, and everything is good for a person." You need a good explanation why this place is specifically good. If everything is corrugated, you say, "No, it is not corrugated. It is ancient. This is the style." So everything you need to show how much you like everything that you see. So you say, "Oh, this sink is very interesting. It is not covered with carriages, but it is vintage." And you need to find those words. The person starts listening to you. I'm sorry, corrosion. The sink is in corrosion. And you say, "No, it is not in corrosion, it is vintage." And you kind of find this fascination. It should be stunning, no negative at all. So normally how it happens, people come there, you let people live in your apartment, they spoil everything, and then you go around your apartment and they say, "Oh, this I need to fix, that I need to fix, this wallpapers I need to to glue." So each person will enter the apartment and will see only bad things. So these elements that there should be benefits rather than negative drawbacks. So what are those vibrations that attract people? Why it is positive for a person to rent this apartment. So the light is very special, especially in the morning, and the tree is very nice here in front of the window, and you can have rest, and children will be here. So many advantages, and you just praise this house. You say how nice everything here. The bricks are very nice, and I have this. So you just speak about every details. I had a person, and I came to him, and he has a terrible house with one window, and everything is made of concrete, and everything is made of concrete and single window, just like in a cave. Yes, a cave. Terrible cave made of concrete. The roof is not nice at all, and this is his face, kind of very calm, and he says, I put everything here personally. I took it very personally. I even this floor by myself, and everything is very precise. You have very straight walls, so you can study geometry with these walls. This is perfect. And look how perfect it is. And they look like no. So no, he's telling me, no, it is perfect, it reflects you, and I decided not to cover it with anything because it is just culmination of construction talent. But I don't like it, I really don't like it because it looks so terrible, it is cold. But he sold it very quickly. Why? Because everything was perfect according to his mind. Because he had everything perfect, everything even. And he told me, yeah, yes, I did it with my hand. And he thinks for sure that he did it well. Why is it so? Maybe he was sitting there and workers were doing this for him, but he thinks that everything was done. But someone bought it from him, and we'll see what he described. Can you imagine this? So, promises. Before selling an apartment or a house, you need to remember you shouldn't you shouldn't have given uh, a promise that it belongs to someone. You need to tell the following to those to whom I promised to give money uh, from this house will not give. I gave this promise. I gave my word. I took it back. Yeah, don't laugh. It is truth, even if it doesn't sound nice. But it is important to say it. If you bought an apartment and someone made promises about this house to someone else, then you need to stop these promises, to take away the words of those people. So if you want to sell an apartment, you need to imagine that butterflies, a lot of butterflies, they come and they sit down on this house or an apartment, and a lot of people will come as clients to buy it from you. So a person comes to you and he says, please sell this house to you, and you say, yes, I can, but you need to tell me the following, because you will work energetically. You need. Let's say you want to buy a house and you come to a person and you say, I want to buy this house, but can you give. But then, so you walk around this house and you say how beautiful it is, what walls, how good they are. So you need to find every tiny details. If there is a furniture there, you need to say, wow, how good it is. light is so nice here. It smells so nice here. It is so nice to be here. It is so nice to go to the toilet. The air is so nice there. So imagine, you understand how spacious it is, and so you come into an apartment and you feel it is very cold there, but you kind of find an opposite thing to say. You say, "Oh, but it is very fresh here." So these elements, they're very important. But which artifact can attract clients to your apartment? Which artifact do you think can attract clients to your apartment? Tell me. Money? No. Only if you will start giving it back. A pie? Maybe, but it can get rotten very quick. Anything that accumulates, anything. A flash drive. Does it accumulate? Yes. You can put an empty flash drive somewhere. Accumulators. Do they accumulate? Yes, of course. Batteries. So you can put an accumulator somewhere, which is a discharge. You can put some car accumulators. Yeah, true. It will attract clients to your life because this is something that accumulates energy. And you need to put a plus client on this accumulator. I have always flash drives with me, empty flash drives. It can have something on it, even some information, but with some empty space in it. It is an accumulator, and in fact, it is a magical artifact. If you set an objective for this artifact to accumulate not only movies and files, but um, financial well-being as well, and then it will be an accumulator or a magnet for money. So first, you need to get rid of people who already rent your apartment. If there is a house and there are people who rent they either like it or they hate it. So if people suffer living there, so you will see only those clients who will come to you for renting who are suffering and who will have suffering in your house. But it is hard to find such clients because normally people are looking for happiness, for new experience. So you take away those who rent an apartment from you, and then you come and meet with this apartment again as if it is a living being. And this meeting will help you to sell this house later on, or you can imagine it as a man or it is a woman, someone alive, and you imagine. Let's say this is a car, not an apartment. You say, "Oh, how nice you look! You have such a beautiful wheel. You have such beautiful rear. You have such beautiful wheels." Um, So you just describe all possible details. So, oh, how nice it is, a beautiful button, beautiful radio. So this state is quite important for a person. So you set mental triggers. You fill this house with vibrations. So when a person will come, these vibrations will need to create intentions inside of a person to get this. So when a person looks on your asset, a person sees not something empty, but something filled with vibrations. So it is very nice to sell apartment where people were happy. They were living there, they were happy, they were kissing, they were hugging each other, they were having picnics together. And when you come to this house, you want to stay there. But if you know that the people who didn't like living there, they were not cleaning up, they were yelling, and their children And children, they were very, very, very dirty, and the mother-in-law, who looks terrible with mustache, and she's very fat, and she doesn't have period for 80 years. But then they come to me and say, "Oh, Mr. Andrew, I want you to sell my house." And you say, "Oh God," because how much mental energy I need to spend just to praise this house, or to meet this house in the new light. So if you want me to sell your asset, you need to grant me with the right of selling, of ownership of this house. But then I need to see this house, and uh, to get satisfied with this house, to praise every small detail. But you need to know how it functions. Do I like selling assets which are not mine? So let me give a piece of advice. During Sangaya, I told, if you want to win, you can turn to me and I will help you. I will give mantras and you will pay half of this money to me. And there will be 100 people who wrote a letter to me, because to their opinion, money will give happiness to them. But do you know that for many people, money will not bring happiness? Why? Because they think, all right, I have money, then what? Then I will be able to buy some things. But if a person was negative, didn't like his close people, he was arrogant, he was greed, he was coward, filled with hatred, there is no harmony. So money need to bring expected to bring harmony, but instead they bring suffering. So when you look at a person and you imagine that this money will bring only suffering to this person, then he or she will never see this money. And I can tell you for 100% whether you will have money or not. I imagine behind of his head huge amount of green banknotes, dollars, and I imagine this person. Then if I see that person is sad with this money, with this image in my head, then I see there will be suffering brought by money. But if person is cheerful, is happy, then it will bring happiness. So these are very simple methods of reading information. So will you have a chance to change it anyhow? Yes. So let's say Svetlana tells to me, "Mr. Andrew, I want to be in the channel of money. Yes, pay me $100 and I will set it for you." What do I do? I imagine that behind her there is huge pile of golden banknotes. I see that uh, she is suffering, she is sad, and then I do this with my hands, and I imagine that she is happy now, and this is how I um, put her into the channel of money directly. But you can do it also for yourself, and I will tell you about this tomorrow, how exactly. So tell me, do you like these methods on selling an apartment? Yes, but do you understand now why why you cannot sell or rent out your apartment? Do you understand the principle? Why? Finally. But did you make mistakes? So what do you do to sell a car? You know it already. But there is another one technique that you can use. You can buy a car that will be a complete copy of your car, and uh, you need to find a toy car that will be a copy of your car, and you need to give it as a gift to a child who really adores toys, cars. And when you give a car toy to a child, to some child, and you say, "My car is your car," and imagine that you give away not a toy but your real car, and then you observe how this child is playing. If you make such a practice, then you will see immediately how quick this car will be sold, and this method works well. If you put 100 triggers over this car, how good it is, then this car will be sold very quickly. I have a man, he turned to me, he told me, Mr. Andrew, I have a microbus, a small bus, and I cannot sell it. And I asked why, but maybe because I work with buses, with cars, and I'm already not interested in this. But I asked, but do you like this bus that you want to sell? And he told me, no, I have BMW, which I like, and this I don't. But then I uh, went around this car, and I asked, oh, this is nice. This is not. I have so much space here, and everything is so nice. I open a rear part, and everything is so cool. The mirrors are so nice. But then he hears what I say, what I kind of murmur, and he asked me, do you really like my car? I say no. So his name is Sasha, and Luda is his wife. And his wife tells to me. So I ask Sasha, have you sold your car? And I said no, because my wife has no car. And in a couple of days after you did this, my wife said, "All right, Alexander," she says, "I take this car from you. It will be mine. I will use it." So she liked it because it puts a lot of triggers there. Can a woman become attractive to a man? Yes, you can put a lot of kind of positive points on yourself. Uh, So-called reefs. So you look at yourself as if you see it at first. You look at yourself and say, "Oh, how beautiful I am! Wow, this finger, this nail, everything is beautiful." But normally women they judge themselves too much. I'm good with makeup. I'm good without makeup. But how a man sees a woman, perceives his woman, in the way how woman perceives herself. So everything you don't like in yourself, this your man will not like. So I don't like I have a booty. I don't like I don't have a booty. I don't like my eyelids, lashes. So that's it. The more you adore yourself, the the more these reefs you put on your body, the better it will be. Oh, how beautiful eye I have! This eye is very beautiful. Here I have a very beautiful eyebrow, and here I have a very beautiful upper lip, and here I have very beautiful this and beautiful that, and you kind of enjoy every tiny aspect of your body, and you become highly valuable in the eyes of your man. You become interesting, attractive. So men, they don't people they don't understand that these elements are called vibrations. All of this. When a woman puts vibrations on herself, she does just the same what you do with an apartment which you want to sell. Of course, a woman, she was not brought up to adore herself. No, but you should not worship yourself, because sometimes there are women who look sometimes women who look really ugly, they tell to everyone, "Oh, I'm so special. Um, I'm so special." And a woman with strange eyes comes, and she says, "And you need to worship your specialty." But you say, "Yes, I am very special because one eye looks in a different direction than another one. So I have a huge stomach." So for someone this is stomach, huge belly, but for someone else this is warm. You say, "I'm very warm." Oh, yes, someone says, "Yes, everyone is fat, but I'm not fat because I'm very warm, and my partner will be very warm, will feel very warm next to me, because these are all slim uh, girls. They are very cold. And what will it be if there will be no gas and there is winter? My partner will feel warm next to me because I'm heating. My body is heating. So the same with the husband. If the husband is very slim, then he will not be able to. So you just need to find this aspect which you can how you can praise your body yourself. So these vibrations will be seen by others. So if you think that people consider you to be stupid, these are your own vibrations. This is your own perception. Someone told you this to you, and then you believed this. Then you created these vibrations around yourself, and people who are next to you then will have an idea that you are stupid. This is how it works. So we have quite a useful uh, day today. Yes, you see now I'm trying to reach 9 o'clock. So what do we do to make a person to call you? Let's say we need to find a person who will call us. To make this person call us, we can use a method that is called a method to using a special herb, a money tree, so called, because a money tree doesn't work as a money tree. It will not give you money. But this tree will help you to improve vibrations, to increase them. You take a leaf, of this tree, put it in your on your tongue, and then you think about a person. You concentrate on a person who needs to call you. So you can take malas and you can imagine a person that you want to call you, and then this person will have immediate desire to call you. If a person if a person has to give money back to you, but he avoids you, you take this leaf of a money tree into your tongue, on your tongue, and you take mala and you repeat the name of this guy, or pronounce like in your mind without saying, and then you recite it 108 times. This is a good method that works very quickly. How to make a person to give money back to you? So this was money plant or jade plant, money tree. So to make him bring money back to you, you want conscience of his to wake up. So this method is called a bottle method. So there was one famous wizard from Ukraine who lives in Russia now. But in Ukraine we have a lot of wizards, by the way, magicians. That is why everything is bad here. Because magicians increase in number and other people start suffering. So once a German guy came to me, a good friend of mine, and he told me, when we met in the airport, he told me, I'm so scared to get out from the airport to get out in Kiev. But he lives in Crimea, that guy, and he's from a Russian family, but he have never been in Ukraine. Uh, think he moved to Berlin immediately from his small rural village countryside. So we met with him. His name is Leonin. And he told me, I'm, I'm really so scared of this poverty, of this capitalism, of this socialism. But then we drive, and he tells me, yes, this poverty, I can see this, it looks so terrible. But then we came to Kiev on Akhmatova Street, and next day we decided to go to a grocery store, and I told him, let's stay here. It was November or beginning of December. It was almost winter, and everyone was already in this Christmas rush. But then he looks at me and he said that I I don't understand. He looks around. He says, I don't understand what's going on. And I asked, what? And he told me, I don't see any car around me that costs less than $30,000 of dollars. And I say, of course, because all cars that we have are very expensive. We don't have any other. Only taxi drivers drive something strange. But I thought it is poverty here. And I say, no, look around. You see, if you see women around, there will be 9 women wearing a fur coat and one woman who's not, simply because she doesn't want animals to be killed, and she is very ecological, green. Um, but then I told, but look how much gold they wear. And then we entered a grocery store, and he told me, "What? We pay 20 euros when we go to a grocery store for some food, but you pay around 400 euro just for one time when you come." I told, "Yes, this is poverty that we have." Uh, this is a Ukrainian story when Ukrainians always suffer and they complain, "Oh, we're so poor, we're so poor." But then you come to them and you ask, "But where is your kid? It was somewhere here." "Oh, but we sent her to study somewhere abroad." "But do you have money?" "Yeah." So I met this daughter and I asked, "But where you are?" And she told me, "I'm in Wells Academy, where the prince was studying as well. But how much does it cost? From 200 to 300,000 of pounds." And I was surprised. I always thought that they have no money for nothing. The mother has a small shop, and the father has also a small shop, or runs small shop. So this is our cultural thing of Ukraine. So no one has money, but if you will go to a restaurant now, and the most fancy restaurant is full. I just don't understand how people can live like this. I thought that this is just in Kiev, but no, I'm mistaken, because in other cities in our country is just the same. But then people say, "Yeah, but you know there are different people," and I say, "Yes, there are regular people and esotericians that know something, and they have something always." So, welcome into our esoteric world. So to make a person give money back, what do you need? You need to find this person. You need to um, point a gun, and also, or you can tie this person somewhere with handcuffs, and then you put iron on, and then you say, "All right, if you bring money back, then I will stop ironing you." No, I'm joking, because this is not from esoteric, so you will be legally responsible for this. So I will give you a mantra instead. All right, so let us come back. So what do we do to make a person give money back? There is a special ritual, and to do this we need a yellow candle of wax without any words on it. You take a white saucer, and you um, uh, you keep a candle next to a saucer so that it becomes black, and then with this black color, uh, with the cinder, you uh, write a name of a person who owns money to you, and you put it under pressure. Let's say this piece of paper, let's say under weights, uh, fitness weights, or under under a wardrobe, etc. And you will say you will be under pressure until you bring me money back. So if people need to give you money back, they will give it to you. So what person thinks in this moment? A person starts feeling heavy and starts wants to give money back. And yet now I need to bring money back. So person starts thinking in this way, starts having certain ideas, and doing something to give this money back. And the pressure is the weight, the pressure is the most important aspect. So if you will put it under a table, it will not help. Under a wardrobe, under the most heaviest thing in your apartment, um, and you say, but if a person gives money back to you, you need to take out this piece of paper and burn it. You don't keep it. So what do you do to make a person feel uh, uh, feel guilty, or to uh, feel feel guilty for not giving money back? And you can put a piece of paper with the name of this person in a thermo, and close with a tap. But this method should be in repeated regularly. But if a person whose name is written down drinks alcohol, at least even beer, this thermo will not work. You will have to put this program all over and over again. But you will not be able to check if person drank someone or not. So in this case, you can put it every 6 hours or 3 times per day. The first time person will not be able to identify that it is linked to you, but then a person has repeating constant thoughts that it would be nicer to give money back to you. But there are some people, and I will speak about them, with a pathology. The people who don't think about their own power, they live just like this messy life. So tell me, this training, was it good to you, for you? So tomorrow we have a choice. The first choice, I would like to spend tomorrow specifically for esoterics, to give you spells, to give you codes, to give methods that can be very effectively used for attracting money, becoming a celebrity, well-known person. And the day before yesterday we'll try, or even tomorrow if we will have. I'm sorry, the day after tomorrow or tomorrow, we will discuss the main principle why a person is poor. So I want a person who comes to a school, even after the first stage, will start going into the direction of financial well-being. So we will combine these two methods, esoteric methods and codes, and lecture why person is poor. All right, thank you. See you tomorrow.